The Loch Ness Monster. Just over 100 years ago, perhaps well towards the end of the 1800s, the area of Scotland around Loch Ness was, and still is, very upmarket. It is a high society area which is full of rich landowners and posh people. As you would expect, being an area of outstanding natural beauty. Back then, there was no such rumor of a monster in the loch. A very well-organized and famous circus used to travel around Scotland and set up shows wherever, usually without a license, so you may one day see flyers in the town that the circus will be there tomorrow, and before the authorities could tax it or shut it down, it would have been and gone. Or they would pay the due rates where they were welcome. The major problem the people around Loch Ness had with this guy is that he used to wash his elephants in the loch. Literally take them down there some mornings and scrub them whilst they hosed themselves down with their trunks. In Scottish law records, there is archivist evidence of a primitive, restraining order that the locals around Loch Ness took out to prevent him doing this, as the smell, rancid appearance and animalistic nature of these non-native animals were upsetting them. Plus, this place should not be used for that kind of thing type attitude. Which is right to think like that. Indeed, the law agreed. Only, this guy would often still take his elephants there in the early morning, just at daybreak, and who would know? He would simply say he wasn't there and that they were lying if they reported him. Only these people were rich. They were so rich, they could afford a portable photographic device called a camera, or rather a primitive portable camera, much like the typical camera feature you or I have on our telephones today. Sure enough, one day they went out, took a photo, and presented it to him. Look. We've caught you. Being the entrepreneur he was, he then said that if they went along with his idea, he would make them thousands. Which they did. He told them to go back up onto the road and take a picture, which he directed. He lined up one of his baby elephants in the water and submerged it, like he normally does, and as it lifted its trunk out of the water, they took the picture. He would walk the baby ones along the bed of the loch fully submerged with just their trunks above the water. To give them a thorough bath. And they were circus elephants anyway, so it looked like a well-trained trick to get them from a young age walking underwater with just a snorkelesque trunk. He told the cameraman he would spend the next few months traveling around as normal, going from place to place, and if anyone asked him if he still used the loch, bearing in mind the restraining order, which was about to put him into bankruptcy for breaching it, he would tell people, "Oh no, I was going to keep on using it despite the restraining order, but the last time I went there, I swear I saw a huge monster." He then said he would further explain as part of the con, that he had also spoken to other people who told him there is a centuries-old Scottish myth of a monster in that loch. Well, I swear I saw it, because my elephant saw it too, and won't go back in there. Indeed, I'm too scared to go back there anyway now. All the while this rumor would circulate, and in a few months to a year's time, you can publish this photo of the first photographic evidence, not of me breaching my restraining order, but of the Loch Ness Monster. Sell it to the press and make a fortune. Which is what they did. A year later, he had spread that rumor so far and wide that people were convinced their own grandmothers told them that story when they were young. And the people sold that picture to all the newspapers for a total sum of what would be millions today. You can quite clearly visualize a small elephant with the bottom half of its trunk out of the water using it to breathe. And the rest of its head. Just under the water. Bear in mind that an elephant's trunk has more muscles in it than an entire human has in total, and you can start to appreciate this trunk is more dexterous than you are in whole. Which gives it a slightly odd look whenever you look at one, in normal surroundings or not. In any case, this is the true story of the Loch Ness Monster.